Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. 9:44 on Monday, the 22nd of June, and I've just been thinking, right, because this is a play on like a sort of part two in my football slash World Cup conversation. Right, I really hope that noise doesn't keep on going on. Wait, I'll get in the living room. Might be a bit more quieter in there. Right, anyway, so I've just been. Oh, for God's sake, it's even louder in the living room. Right, anyway, so as I was saying, right, players like Rodri, Pirlo, and Modric, right? So then I was thinking, what is a team that you would have, other players play better because they're in the team, or players that play in the team but didn't get enough credit, and you have to see the highlights to show how great they are because they do the unselfish things for the team. So I would have Cafu at right back, or whatever position he plays in. Then I would have Vidic in defence, the centre back. Then I would have. Oh my God, what was his name? That Brazilian that played for PSV and Chelsea. Oh, Silva, I think his name is. Then I would have Maldini beside him, and then protecting them just in front of the defence would be Rodri. Then I would have just playing beside they two, I would have Pirlo and Modric, and then I would have to play out of position, but they could intertwine. Michael Carrick. Don't know who I would have on the other side. No, in fact, I would move Michael Carrick to the other side. I'll just have to play him out of position. But to be fair, though, he would play in goals if he got asked. I would have Stephen Pienaar, Everton, the South African. And then up front, I would have... Oh, I don't know. Wait. Selfish. Oh, Emil Heskey and Chris Woods. Players that aren't properly talented, and you have to watch their highlight reel to see how good they really are, because seeing them at face value doesn't truly give a representation, but players that will literally run through a brick wall and give you make the team better when they're in it. Aye, and make the superstars look better. Because definitely, when Michael Carrick was in that Man U team, every other player played better because he was in that team, and vice versa with everyone else. But you could take out... no, who did I say for the centre back? I said Vidic. And then Jaap Stam. So Vidic, Jaap Stam, Cafu and Maldini. Don't know about the goalkeeper, but it could be Neville Southall. And then as I said, Rodri, Pirlo, Modric, Stephen Pienaar, Michael Carrick, and Chris Woods, and maybe like Kevin Davis, or someone like that just is a no nonsense person and will put up a fight against absolutely anyone. But then you could easily take out Michael Carrick or Stephen Pienaar and then put Roy Keane in there. Aye, definitely. Or you could even take out as a substitute, you could take out one of them and then put in Thomas Gravesen for Everton, or Scott Brown. You could put him in, because he would literally... Players that didn't get enough credit but would run through a brick wall. So this is players that are in the team because they make other players play better, and the stats are better with the players in it. And there was someone else I was going to mention. Well, if I'm saying players that go under the radar, but are like uh, like uh, like that are players when a player finishes and says like who was your most underrated player you ever played with, I would put no, in fact, instead of Stephen Pienaar I would put in Park Ji-sung. I thought I would have Neville Southall on goals, I would have Cafu, I would have Vidic and Yap Stan, and then I would have Maldini there, so that would be my four, and then Rodri just in front of them with Pirlo and Modric just in front of him, and one of them could go forward while they two sit back, and then on the right I would have Park Ji-sung, and then on the left I'll just have to play him out of position, but I would either have Michael Carrick or Roy Keane, but then they could slot into midfield while one of them go up forward, and then I would have Kevin Davis and who did I say? Chris Woods. But I'm trying to think of someone else that's better than they two that would go through a brick wall. Oh, some of the players that played for Stoke, that Fuller or whatever his name was. No, you could have Hasselbank or the Yak. But the Yak wasn't as good as Hasselbank, or even as good as Chris Woods. And you could have Emil Heskey, but Emil Heskey isn't as good as Chris Woods. So that would be my team of players that either didn't get enough credit every single time as a 7 out of 10 for the clubs and would literally run through a brick wall. The type of player that when a player retires and they get interviewed and they said, what's the most underrated player you've played with, they would say them. Because definitely Gary Neville asked Sir Alex Ferguson who was the most underrated player he ever managed, and he said Park Ji-sung, and he was. He is the type of player, Park Ji-sung, that if he was known and famous for playing in one position, Alex Ferguson can mould him into a multitude of players. Oh my God! You'd have to add Steven Gerrard into that category, but I would put him on the bench. Because Steven Gerrard is probably slightly more gifted than maybe two of the other players or three that I've mentioned, but he would go through a brick wall, but he's maybe a bit too higher up in this echelon to be properly classified as that. But again, he wasn't underrated. He was just averagely rated, like level, if he was there, then Rodri, Pirlo, and God, I could add Gattuso into this. I should have really thought about it before putting this. So Gattuso and Steven Gerrard would be on the bench. That, in fact, you could just scrap everything I've just said there and put the AC Milan team for 2000 to 2006. Because that is a proper team that doesn't have one sort of like Lamine Yamal, Messi, Ronaldo or Mo Salah, but just has a absolutely phenomenal team spirit. Like the Cape Verde team now that are unknown but got a phenomenal team spirit, and then like when Leicester won the league, apart from Vardy and Mahrez. You could have Vardy! No, I would have James Vardy up front instead of Emil Heskey. Emil Heskey would go on the bench, and so would Kevin Davis. Why didn't I say him? Aye, so, aye, but Jamie Vardy up front. Jamie Vardy and Chris Woods up front. Aye, and Chris Wood would be like the sort of number 10 player that, like, when the ball gets hoofed up, he would sort of come out like the last defender, head it on to Jamie Vardy, and he would run past him and get the knock-ons. Aye, so definitely. And my tagline of that team would be try and play the underrated team on a wet Tuesday night. I like what Stoke used to say, like try and play Stoke on a cold, wet, windy Tuesday night. Didn't mean Tuesday night as the woman that was on A Nightmare on Elm Street. Anyway, so aye, it would be Neville Southall in goals, then Cafu at fullback, then I would have Nemanja Vidic, then I would have Jaap Stan in the other centre back, then I would have Maldini, then I would have Rodri just in front of the defence, with Pirlo and Modric just in front of him, and one of the two could keep going forward. Then I would have... Oh God, who else did I say? Then I would have Park Ji-sung on the left. Then I don't know on the other side either Gattuso, Steven Gerrard, Roy Keane. Aye, and then up front Chris Woods and Jamie Vardy. Aye, and then on the bench would be... on the bench would be Michael Carrick, Steven Gerrard, Gattuso, Rio Ferdinand, maybe Alan Stubbs. No Alan Stubbs. Andy Gray. Aye, that played in the Everton team in the 80s. And Lee Carsley. Aye, the bald Everton player in the early 2000s that went on to play for Birmingham. And I think he's either English or Irish. That noise is far too loud. I'll say... Well, it wasn't obviously when I was chatting then, but it was now. And if it gets louder, I won't be able to chat. But anyway... So, anyways, that would be my team of players that an ex-player would say they're glad to played with, a manager that would say that's their underrated player that they always rely on, the type of player that you'd have to look up like a compilation of their like best moments to really know and truly know how good they are, and then compare that team with and without them, and there would be a good... No, there would be... No, they would win more, keep possession more, and make the better players better because they're in the team. So that would be it. Right? I've got it. That is my team of players that would run through a brick wall, does exactly what the manager says, make the better players look better because they're in the team, and have a better winning percentage and a better percentage of keeping possession of the ball when they're in the team. So then you put their name up, and then you put like when playing and then without playing, and then the with playing would have more percentage of the ball and winning percentage. Tatty bye. Bye.